Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the South Haven City Council. Today is Monday, January 5th, 2026, and we are going to begin with swearing-in ceremonies of our new members.
Good evening, everyone. If I could please have the three new council members stand for me and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member of the City of South Haven, Michigan, according to the best of your ability?
I do.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then, Ms. Brown, I'll have you stand. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of mayor of the City of South Haven, Michigan, according to the best of your ability?
I do.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. This meeting is called to order. Tonight's invitation is by Bishop Darrell Williams of Lily of the Valley Church.
And Mayor, following the invocation, did you want to come down and take a picture with the new council?
Let's do it at the end of the meeting. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Very good.
Ms. Mayor, Council, and Mrs. Hosley, thank you so much for this opportunity to pray. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion and allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as your decisions are made that will have an impact on our residents, business owners, visitors, and civic leaders. Father, continue to remind us that all that we do here on tonight, all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. I pray that our foundation will sit on the word of God, as it states in Amos 5:24, let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. I pray for unity among every facet of government as we work together and not against each other, that we would seek to understand, then to be understood. I pray that when we don't agree, that it's done with an element of mutual respect and fosters a team approach. Father, any breach that has happened in the past that is fostering distrust, lack of communication, and or suspicion, we pray that you would repair that breach on this evening. And we ask these things, Father, in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Could we have a roll call, please, Megan?
Of course. Jeff Arnold.
Here.
Tom Capps.
Here.
Dave Flack.
Here.
Mary Hosley.
Here.
Eddie Polk.
Here.
Letitia Wilkins.
Here.
And Annie Brown.
Here. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda with 3 minutes for public comment?
I move to approve the agenda with a 3-minute public comment period.
Second.
All in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? The agenda is approved. Thank you. We have no community updates, so we're moving on to public comment. This is for items on the agenda, excluding items scheduled for public hearing, and you have up to 3 minutes.
I don't think there's a public meeting, but could we pause and have an applause for those that were recently? That was it. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? If not, we're moving on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through C?
I move to approve the consent agenda, items A through C.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Arnold,
Yes.
Capps,
Yes.
Flack,
Yes.
Hosley,
Yes.
Polk,
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
and Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to new business. The city council will be asked to consider approval of the following resolutions to update the poverty tax exemption, special assessments poverty tax exemption, and the updated poverty guidelines for 2026. Resolution 2026-01, a resolution updating state-required poverty level income standards for special assessments, and B, Resolution 2026-02, a resolution updating state-required poverty level income standards for property tax exemptions. Kate?
Thank you, Mayor. This is our standard business for the first of the year. We have to set our poverty level exemption or income standards for both special assessments as for general property. Both these resolutions do just that. As you've seen in your packet, we're recommending 15% above federal poverty guidelines. By law, we cannot go below that.
Any questions for Kate? Is there a motion? Did you have was your
Nope.
hand up?
Nope.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the resolutions?
I'll move to approve resolutions 2026-01 and 2026-02 as presented in the agenda.
I support.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving on to number 10. The City Council will be asked to consider approval of Resolution 2026-03, a resolution appointing a Board of Reviewing, establishing a rate of compensation, and setting a meeting schedule for the tax year 2026. Kate?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, this is normal business for January. We set a board of review. We are using the same folks we have been using. They are staying up to date on the State Tax Commission. This does set their compensation, which is required by law.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I move to approve Resolution 2026-03 as read by the mayor.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? The resolution is passed, and thank you to the people who are serving on the board. Number 11, the City Council will be asked to introduce an ordinance to amend Section 62-27 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of South Haven. Kate?
Thank you, Mayor. It was brought to city staff's attention that we have a provision that in our charter, in our Code of Ordinances that prohibits folks from serving on the Planning Commission and any other board. We currently have one member that serves on the Planning Commission, Larry Heinig, as well as the Construction Board of Appeals. I can tell you that the Board of Appeals has not met in 4 years, but you do have to have one. They're also the appellate board for the fire code and any construction board. It has been increasingly difficult to get certain people that have to have backgrounds on boards and commissions. Like say for the Construction Board of Appeals, you have to have a background in building or the trades or construction to be on that board because it is so technically required. We've had a hard time with filling those board seats, and in fact, we do have some members from the township that are serving on that board simply because we could not find enough people. So I understand this is a provision that Attorney Eberly and myself have worked on. We always are looking for people to serve on our boards and commissions. We usually start looking for people in February, but as we have vacancies that come up, and of course, Mr. Polk was on the Planning Commission, but now has been elevated to this elected body, we will have an opening there. I can also tell you that the Planning Commission has a lot of work that's coming its way, and so does this council. We have to adopt our master plan, and we have increasing number of special land uses that are going to the Planning Commission. So we were looking for some flexibility here because, quite frankly, this board has appointment power, ratification power of the mayor's appointments. And so if there's a member that this board does not want, they does not have to confirm an appointment.
Okay, this is only for discussion tonight and an introduction. So we're open to discussion from council members.
I have a question. So, Kate, are you saying that we have a problem with people even applying for the different boards?
Not every board has a problem, but some boards that need technical experience, yeah, we're having a hard time finding them. Like I said, we had to really go out and look for people to stay on for the Construction Board of Appeals. Now, happily, we haven't had to use it, but it is something that we do have to have operational. We do have to have a hearing officer, and happily, we've not had to have a hearing officer for a dangerous building, but we do need to have these boards and commissions filled.
Any other questions or comments? Mary?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just had a question that, I know it's always tough to get great people to fill jobs, but is it pretty standard practice in other communities that people can serve on more than one board?
Yes. Yes,
So we're
it's-
kind of an exception that we have that in our ordinances that you can't.
That's correct. I know Attorney Eberly and his firm represent more communities, obviously, than what I'm familiar with, and I believe that he's stated that this is pretty common not to have this kind of language, that people do serve on multiple boards and commissions.
That's accurate. I've seen this before. I'm familiar with communities that have had it and then have repealed it for the same reasons Kate just stated in this instance. But I think by and large, the majority don't have this provision.
And I should also state that this only applies to the Planning Commission. We do have other people who have served on multiple boards at the same time, just not at the same time at the Planning Commission, but for Mr. Heinig.
Dave?
Mayor Brown, I've thought about this one quite a bit. I'm in favor of the updating of the ordinances that we spoke about today. I think that's a noble thing to aspire to do this year, and it's monolithic. I get that. It's going to take a long time to update all of these ordinances. There are dozens of pages. And I'm also in favor of considering removing this specific language because I agree, I've looked and other municipalities simply don't have this language. It's not there. It is there for us right now in this time. So I'm open to that discussion, and that discussion involves, will we get more applicants if we make that move, yes or no? Will we maintain the diversity that we want to have between the boards and within the boards if we make that move? Or will we concentrate the boards with fewer people? Those are the thoughts that are on my mind when we have this conversation. What we have on the books right now, I understand isn't currently being enforced because we actually have people who are serving on multiple boards who are on the Planning Commission as we sit here. So it's not being enforced what we do have on the books from what I understand. Removing the language could increase the pool. I think it may come at the expense of diversity, and that should be a concern for us as we have the conversation. And I guess I struggle with the changing the ordinance based on a single appointment. And we're at a point in time right now where we're making a single appointment, and that's where my struggle lies, is making that change as we make a single appointment. So those are my comments for where we are now.
Mary?
Yeah, just looking historically back at the Planning Commission, the past 2 years, we've had twice as many applicants as we have had positions to fill. Just this past year, we had 5 applicants for 2 positions. In 2024, we had 10 applicants. No, let me get my numbers. We had 8 applicants for 3 positions. So we haven't been wanting of applicants for the Planning Commission. I also am concerned that allowing people to serve on multiple boards decreases diversity. And especially with the Planning Commission, I think we need to do a better job of making sure that the wards are equitably represented. Right now, there are 4 people from Ward 3. There is 3 people from Ward 1 and 1 person from Ward 2 with a vacancy. That raises a concern, is because the Planning Commission is supposed to represent the community as a whole. And I think we can do a better job of that. And I think the best way to do that is making sure that vacancies are announced so that people know about them. I think not only the Planning Commission has a vacancy, but the Harbor Commission probably has a vacancy. And the DDA probably has a vacancy. Those are the three off the top of my head. So what I would like to see, and what the letters, emails have indicated, is having a more transparent process, which many of us all say that we support, and having announcements, I don't know, putting it on the newsroom. Some people have told me that's not enough. Having an email blast was recommended to me by some. And I think we just need to we have a lot of people engaged, and the way to keep them engaged is to appoint new people. And so that it's not the same people moving from one board to another board. There are several people on the Planning Commission currently right now that have been there for double digits of time. And I appreciate that the term limitation was removed in 2013 for the reason that you're asking to remove this, is there were not enough applicants. But what I've been seeing over the past several years, even when I applied in several years ago, there were more applicants than there were positions, but the same people got reappointed. And that's just not engaging in the community, and that's what we said we wanted to do. So that is why I also struggle with making this amendment at this point in time. I appreciate the Construction Board of Appeals and Mr. Heinig's situation, especially with a board that meets very, very infrequently. If necessary, I would not be opposed to adding that, because that is such a highly technical field. But again, we have so many applicants for the Planning Commission that I do believe it's not necessary to make an amendment at this time. I would prefer not to do a piecemeal, but as was stated, that we need to overhaul the ordinance, and at that time we can do it.
Any other comments?
Yes. Let's go back to that statement about diversity. I want to be clear, understand what that really means in terms of impacting this. What are we talking about in terms of diversity? We're talking about skills, we're talking about ethnicity, education. What are we talking about here? And how is that going to impact?
Well, the Planning Enabling Act, if we're talking about the Planning Commission, it calls for a number of different factors to be considered. Geographic location is but one. You are looking for diverse backgrounds, people from many different walks of life, and different experiences, as well as different technical training. Dave, I think you've got a better handle on what the Planning Enabling Act says.
Give me a minute, I'll pull up the statutory language so
Okay.
I don't have to summarize here. This is Section 15 of the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. The membership of a planning commission must be representative of important segments of the community, such as the economic, governmental, educational, and social development of the local unit of government, in accordance with the major interests of the local unit of government, such as agricultural, natural resources, recreation, education, public health, government, transportation, industry, housing, and commerce. The membership must also be representative of the entire territory of the local unit of government to the extent practicable.
Okay. And again, what's our challenges at this point that's driving this? What are we challenged with?
Well, the other thing that I think needs to be said is that the mayor is the one who appoints the member to fill vacancies at the Planning Commission, and this board ratifies and confirms that. So ultimately, while getting more applicants is always admirable, and we're always looking for people to serve because it is unpaid positions, we do have to understand that it's ultimately the mayor's appointment power in choosing who the candidate would be.
Thank you.
And I should say that while we do anticipate there will be vacancies, the vacancies that we're faced with right now have to be appointed because those members there's already a council member on the Planning Commission.
Thank you.
I had a comment.
Any other questions, comments?
I do, Mayor.
Oh, go ahead.
And you mentioned that the mayor has power to appoint. And the mayor, of course, when considering all the applicants, is thinking about the chemistry of the planning commission. They have such many important things to do. Want to make sure that we're not creating gridlock in the planning commission, so you're looking for educated, or not educated, but people knowledgeable in planning and those kinds of things that are going to be able to get work done. And then something that Councilperson Hosley said, that 2013 is when we changed the rules so that people could serve multiple times. It was not that long ago when I was serving here on council, sat here in many meetings with no one in the room. We wondered if people were even listening. A nice side effect of the COVID era is that people are really involved, and that's great. But people seem to really want to be involved in council, and they want to be involved in planning commission and zoning board of appeals. But what about the less cool boards? And so the people that are willing to volunteer in the planning commission, council, ZBA also can help out in those other boards that aren't as sexy or as cool as the cool city council. And so that's why one of the many reasons I'm in favor of making this change is because for too long have seen people, we begged for people to be involved in all the different councils and committees. I was term limited and wanted to be done for a while, and the past city manager, no, we need you, and I ended up on housing and ZBA when I just wanted a break. But there was no one applying that, how long have I been here? 6 years ago. No one was applying. And so I think that we do need this change.
Any other comments? Mary?
I do know from the past agenda packets for the past 2 years, we have had more applicants than there have been seats for many, many of the boards. And that is why I would encourage engagement of the community by appointing new people. I know a few people who, when they heard about the vacancies, said that they were going to apply. They are also very skilled. But as one of the last things that Attorney Eberly said was representative of the community as a whole. And so that does, I think, implicate some necessity to make sure that there's a balance of Ward 1, 2, and 3 members on the Planning Commission. And we have a lot of talented people, and with our average age of 61, a lot of them are retired and have the time. And I would like to engage those people who have shown an interest and have been looked over in the past. And I think many of the committees are now all becoming cool committees.
Good.
So, we owe it to our community to ensure representation according to the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. So that is why, at this point in time, I would prefer to maintain the status quo and engage the community to get more people involved.
I just want to make a point that people of all ages are welcome and encouraged to apply for boards and commissions.
Correct.
Eddie, did you have something else?
Oh, if I may, one thought I had was, the Planning Commission is not, no compensation, ZBA either, and I believe the law allows for compensation for both of those boards. And at a minimum, towards that effect, I would encourage when payment comes around, or if we could direct that, to allow maybe not a per meeting, but also, and something I had suggested when they were, the committee was making a recommendation for the city council, was to allow for care services that a member would have to incur to attend the meeting. And I say care services generically. It may be child care, it may be spousal care, it could be any type of care where you have a loved one that you're not able to leave alone, which prohibits you from serving on a board. So I would like to broaden the pot of people who could apply by providing remuneration, at least for out-of-pocket expenses.
Mr. Polk.
I was going to go back to Dave and ask him what was he thinking at this point.
Sorry, what?
Did you have any other thoughts on this?
Having heard the
No,
discussion.
for me, the issue comes down to, I'm willing to discuss it. I think, like I said, other municipalities are not doing this. The timing is conspicuous for me, Eddie, in terms of doing it for a single appointment versus doing it in space where we're changing all of our ordinances. That's my issue.
Kate?
I should say that we did contemplate, the mayor does have somebody that she would like to see put on the planning commission, but you currently have a conflict, Mr. Heinig. So there's two people, but this has broader implications if you are looking for people to serve who might be. It's also good to have some continuity amongst boards. It's good for boards to come back and talk with each other about what they're working on in preventing siloing. But I guess, I believe I can't remember if there's a motion on the floor.
No, we're not motioning or voting. Councilwoman Wilkins, you've been quiet.
I'm always quiet. I just think that, well, I'm not in favor of the ordinance change. And I like the reason, and I don't want to say him, but I can't remember his name. Dave. I got to get used to Dave. Dave, I agree with what he said. We shouldn't be just making the change just to appoint one person. I think if we were going to make the change, that it should come at a different time after the appointment. I think when it comes to these appointments, we need to open it up. It seems like we're putting the same people over and over on some of these committees or boards. I think that we need to consider some of the women that are, you said diversity, we need to consider some of the women that are applying. There's more than just men that are applying. There are some women that I know who have applied that have not been considered. And I think that we need to consider everyone. I know in some of these committees, they may need some type of special background, like you said, for construction. But for the planning committee, I don't believe that, I know that you have to do a lot of reading and have to really be focused and all this other thing, all this other stuff. But I think a person can learn how to be effective on the planning committee. So I think that we shouldn't just say, well, they may not be a good fit. I don't think that we really should be able to pass that type of judgment on certain people. So I'm hoping, Mayor, that you open this up, not just for one person, but we open it up for whoever, because I don't know who applied. I don't. But I know that there is one other person, but I'm sure there's other people who have applied. And I think that we need to consider other people besides the same few people that we just keep putting on the same committees over and over with the same agenda and the same views. If we're going to get something different, we have to use different people. And those are my comments.
Thank you. Well, this was a good discussion for tonight, and we will be revisiting this at our next meeting.
When you say revisiting it, do you want another motion to introduce, or you want to put on for a second reading and possible adoption?
I think tonight was just discussion.
We have it
Or what?
for introduction.
As historically, when the council has had an ordinance to be introduced, there has been a motion to introduce it. So I think just to keep some consistency, it would be beneficial to have a motion to introduce it. If that passes, then staff will then bring this back at a later date for further discussion and potential adoption by council.
Okay.
I would think, it sounded like, in listening to everyone, like for the Larry Heiding situation, we do need to make the change. And I think we all agreed on that. There was some differences of opinion about making it for one person. And if you have that one person in mind, as Kate said, we can make this change and then vote against that person. And then we have to go back to the pool to make sure we get the diversity that everyone's talking about. So with that in mind, I would move to introduce an ordinance to amend Section 62-27 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of South Haven.
Is there a second? Okay, the motion fails. Let's bring this back at the next meeting.
Okay. For introduction, or for further discussion?
For further introduction and discussion. Okay, moving on. Number 12, we're at public comment. Citizens in the audience will be heard on items not on the agenda, and you have up to 3 minutes.
Good evening, Bob Sherman, 250 North Shore Drive. I'd like to offer you all a little history lesson tonight. I'm guessing most of you have been to Saugatuck, and probably you've stood in front of the Saugatuck City Hall right there on Butler Avenue, I think, and you've read the historical marker that talks about the great city of Singapore. Singapore was founded somewhere in the 1830s, I believe, but most of the surrounding forests were cut down to help rebuild homes and buildings that were lost in Muskegon and even Chicago and Menominee and other cities due to forest fires or fires. With all that forestation gone, guess what happened to Singapore? It was totally vulnerable to the wind and the sand that came from Lake Michigan. So by 1875 or so, the city of Singapore was totally buried, literally buried under sand and abandoned. And you can go to the Saugatuck Dune rides and you can look out over the lakefront where it happened. Now, I'm not suggesting that's about to happen in Packard Park, but we've got a significant issue in my opinion. We've had some major wind events in the last several weeks. I think you'd all agree with that. And I can tell you over the last week or two, as I've run my snowblower, I have blown as much sand as I've had snow, because the wind brings that sand across from the beach through Packard Park. And now that the snow will be melting this week, I encourage you to walk through Packard Park. You'll be amazed at the amount of sand in Packard Park. You'll also notice it on North Shore Drive, right there in front of the park. I'll invite you to walk through my yard right across the street, and you'll find lots of sand there as well. In past years, many of you know that we had the city, and Kate will affirm this, I think, we had snow fences through Packard Park to try to control
You have 1 minute.
the movement of sand from the beach to the park. We haven't done that in several years. We need to take some action, whether it's more snow fences in Packard Park or whatever it might be, but we need to protect Packard Park. I don't think there's any risk that the restroom building will be buried under sand, not yet, but there's some history here. So please do what you can, city staff, city council, to protect Packard Park and my home from wind-blown sand. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'm living
Oh,
326.
Can you pull your microphone down? Thank you.
326 Lion Street. I don't know whether I'm going to speak on the snow plow that goes on across the street from my house and plows the sidewalk, but it won't plow it on my side of the street. No one lives on the other side of the street, but everybody lives on my side. And for years, well, last year they did plow it.
The
But
sidewalks.
The sidewalks. But this year, no plowing. So that's my.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Our staff will look into that. Thank you. Any other comments?
Joe Wilkins, 811 Indiana Street. I just want to piggyback real quick on what she said. I had that happen in front of the church. So I'm assuming they're going to get back to it. They did on the side by the park, sidewalks all the way down. And on our side, it didn't get plowed. But tonight, I came out just really to welcome the new councilmen on tonight. But I also one of the good things about sitting here, you get to hear the complaints, you get to hear the positive negatives. You get to hear all the campaign speeches and stuff like that. And I've heard campaign speeches from Councilman Flack, Capps, and Polk. And I want to remind the individuals that are on council tonight, you're running it now. You got your hands on the wheel. I hope that we get out of this committee exactly what you guys ran on, transparency, keeping an eye out on diversity, not just with ethnicity, but with age. We see our age, the average age of our residents are going up. Our seniors, there are certain needs in all these different areas. The homeless population that we steadily seeing climb in this city, affordable housing, all those issues. You guys had special campaign speeches on those. You got your hands on the wheel now. I think we're heading in a good direction, but I want to remind you guys of your campaign speeches. Tonight, we can't talk on it. I came late, but I want to remind you guys, you said you want transparency. You want transparency across the board, and you want a new way of governing. I hope you guys stand by your campaign slogans, that you will lead in a more positive direction. I want to remind you that. SLAC, POKE, and CAPS. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? We are moving on to city manager's comments.
I too want to welcome the new council. I'm under the weather. I think I've given it to Dave, and I've gotten it from a couple people in City Hall, or I've given it to them. So I'm under the weather. We do have our training that is coming up this Friday at the Northside Marina. I'm looking forward to that. I think we're going to have a very good session with Marilyn Simonek. I know that Letitia and Jeff are not able to join us, but I think for the new council members, of course, Mayor Brown, looking forward to that. Again, it will be Friday night and then into Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. And, of course, welcome Dave, Tom, and Eddie.
Any questions for Kate? We have 5 minutes.
The Christmas tree pickup on January 14th. So you want all the trees stripped of the ornaments and the
Yeah,
garland,
they're not going to
correct?
pick up anything with ornaments on it. It's got to be completely stripped down. Unless you really hated that star, it's got to go out on the trash in another method.
Thank you. And if you're not feeling well, I will just leave it at that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. It's been a tough day.
Great. Anything else for Kate? We're moving on. Mayor and council persons' comments. We're starting with Councilwoman Wilkins.
Well, first, I want to say Happy New Year's to everyone. I want to also thank everyone for coming out tonight. And I also want to welcome the new city council members, Mr. Polk and Mr. Black, and thank you, Mr. Capps. Thank you. Thank you all for, welcome.
Thank you.
To the board, to the best board.
Amen.
The cool one.
Councilmember Capps.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that's here tonight, also everybody that supported everybody here. Also, thanks to the people that ran against us, because we still represent them too. And I've become friends with a couple of these people. I wanted to be more so with some of the other ones. I think we'll do a great job, and I'm glad Joe will hold us to the fire. Okay?
Thank you. Councilmember Flack.
Thanks, Mayor Brown. First, I wanted to send a shout out and thank you to Visit South Haven for the New Year's Eve presentation here in town. It was like being in a Disney movie. It was unbelievable, and they do such a great job. And I know it's a ton of work, but it's absolutely outstanding. So I want to thank them. I want to thank Clark Gruber for starting a hand of applause for us new folks. Thank you, Clark. And I just want to say how honored I am to be here. I appreciate the trust that the community's put in the three of us to be here tonight. I love that it's Tom and Eddie that I'm coming in with, because they are such great individuals in person and to work with. And it's a privilege to serve this city. I'm looking forward to listening, to learning, and working collaboratively with Mayor Brown, our fellow city council members, the awesome city staff that we have here, and of course our public. I care deeply about the health of this community, and I want to see us thrive as we move forward. And I'm excited to get to work. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Mary.
Also, welcome, new members.
Thank you.
Looking forward to working with all of you. I know I've interacted with most of you, and I look forward to getting to know you better, Tom Capps. So, Also, New Year's Eve, Shays. Can't forget Shays with the balloon drop, or the ball drop. For addressing Bob's comment, so we do, as part of our master plan, are looking at coastal resilience, and it's not just Packard Park. Oak Park is just as bad. And it would be really great if maybe the Parks Commission could look at native vegetation, maybe in conjunction with the Garden Club, for vegetation that could be put there that would help with erosion issues towards that effect. The Van Buren County has their annual tree sale going on. If you get the news blast for the Liberty Hyde Bailey Museum that go out, it's in their newsletter. Pre-orders are due by March 29th. The prices are really good. Pick up locally at the museum. January 8th is our Planning Commission. Trailside Phase 2, Part 2, Plan Unit Development Amendment is before the Planning Commission and the annual report. There was going to be an Overton update, but that has been pushed off to February for them to get things in tip-top shape. And yeah, just our orientation this Friday and also on Saturday. So I look forward to getting to know you all better.
Councilman Polk.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thank you to everyone, especially I'm happy to see that my church family is here, and thank them for their support, and each and everyone in the community. I think that relationships are very important, not for just socially, but also being successful and doing the things that we have before us and being successful. We may not always agree on an issue, but that should be no reason why there should be dissension or any of those negatives. It really shouldn't be, because we are a team. It's an old-fashioned word that's been around for a long time, and the word may mean something different to you than it does to me, but to me, a team works together in spite of their differences. And you find a diversity an asset. It's an asset because it gives you a chance to look at things from a different perspective. I'm not perfect, but you already knew that, don't you? I'm just admitting it. And I admit to that. And I can stand for someone to be critical in a professional way, offer up a different point of view, and I think it's I should be mature enough, professional enough, responsible enough to accept that with grace. That's the kind of team that I'm looking to work with, and I think we have it here. I just think we just need to trust each other, support each other, and respectfully agree as well as disagree. Those are my comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Arnold.
Thank you, Mayor.
Can you make that announcement again?
Mayor Pro Tem.
I love
it. So thanks to the consent agenda. I'm going to sound a bit like a broken record, but Happy New Year to everyone here and listening and the city staff. And I did want to welcome the new council people.
Thank you.
Pretty exciting that I've served with brand new council people, right out of the box. And of course, Mr. Polk has some experience with the Planning Commission, but a lot of times they kind of hang back, just get their feet wet. Not here. You guys are great. This is exciting. It means we're going to get a lot done. So I'm very excited about that. And then with that in mind, I also want to apologize for not being able to make it to the train this weekend. Marilyn Savanica is great. Deborah Eberly is going to do a lot of great stuff. And while I've gone through that training before, I'm going to miss out on the relationship piece that Councilperson Polk was talking about and the team building. And so that's why I apologize that I had a previous engagement and can't make the two trainings this weekend. And those are my comments.
Understand completely. My comments are thank you to our city road crew for keeping the roads cleared. That was, it's just great to wake up and see that our roads are cleared and safe to drive on. So thank you for that. I want to thank my friend Dixie Capps for being here tonight, and thank you for raising a great son, well, both of them, with your whole family. So thank you. Oh, 3 sons. Okay, great. Oh, 4. God, whoever you raised, thank you. You did an amazing job. And thank you to everybody who came tonight. It was great to see all of you. And if there's no further business, we're adjourned.